Hello and welcome to ILTV's Israel Daily. I'm Aaron Porras, and before we begin, we want to thank the thousands of you who've already subscribed to our new streaming platform, ILTV+. Your support is helping us to bring you the best and most unique content from Israel every day. Now, coming up in today's newscast, Israel weighs easing quarantine policy despite an estimated 200,000 new COVID infections per day. Meanwhile, an Israeli delegation arriving in Khartoum just months after the military coup in Sudan. And finally, a diet for your brain, a new study linking what we eat to repairs in cognitive injury. To begin, ever the restless bunch, the coronavirus cabinet once again easing restrictions on quarantines, despite the country passing yet another grim milestone. Over 2 million Israelis infected with coronavirus since the start of the pandemic. ILTV's Marnie Shamroth with the details.
Tens of thousands of new cases of coronavirus confirmed overnight Wednesday, setting yet another record for the third day in a row. And this bringing the total number of infections in Israel to over 2 million since the start of the pandemic. The infection rate at a staggering 17%, and the death toll rising by 59 this week to 8,362. Then adding to the bad news, Health Ministry Director General Professor Nachman Ash predicting that the peak of the current Omicron wave likely another week or so away. And as it is, Ash estimating that there are at least 2 to 3 times more daily cases than are recorded, saying that it is not impossible that we stand at over 200,000 verified cases per day, especially as some 12% of the daily cases recorded among previously infected individuals, mostly people in their 20s and 30s who have not yet been vaxxed. The most concerning figure to the government, however, the number of Israelis in isolation. Over 230,000 Israelis already in quarantine, and that number rapidly rising. Nearly 41,000 entering isolation on Wednesday alone. And this is to say nothing of the tens of thousands of students, as well as their working-age parents, who are entering isolation and thrusting the economy into a de facto lockdown. Education Minister Yifat Shasha Biton therefore calling on her colleagues to greatly reduce quarantine restrictions for school-age children. Specifically, she's pushing to allow all students, vaxxed or not, to be able to exit quarantine and return to studies after passing just one antigen test. This whereas currently, only vaccinated students have this option, while their unvaccinated peers must isolate for at least a week. In any case, Shasha Biton's expected to get her wish, with one potential method of making it happen being to test students daily, and to only force the infected into isolation.
Now, speaking of COVID, as Pfizer getting most of the attention for their vaccines, Israel's homegrown BRILife vaccine falling by the wayside. But recent studies seem to suggest that the BRILife shot developed by the Defense Ministry's IIBR is more effective against new variants like Omicron, as well as longer lasting. So why isn't it on the market, let alone in our bloodstreams? Joining me to answer is former head of the IIBR, or the Israeli Institute for Biological Research, Professor Shmuel Shapira. Professor, thank you so much for being with us. Now, first, you claim that the IIBR vaccine, BRILife, is arguably better than the others on the market right now, and that Pfizer's vaccine is, quote, mediocre. What makes you say that?
It's not necessarily better, but certainly it's different, and a different mechanism can give some better or different options. We had our vaccine ready by July 2020, and bureaucracy slowed the process. We developed the vaccine on different mechanism than the Pfizer or Moderna. Our vaccine is a virus, animals virus, which is not do not do any harm to people, and it's genetically engineered with the corona spikes. It's different vaccine. It's not a messenger RNA vaccine. It's modern, but it's a little bit more toward classical vaccines. There is a worldwide experience with for 4 years with similar vaccines against Ebola, and therefore we choose this platform. And I still, even in retrospect, I think that we had done the right choice.
To watch full episodes of ILTV's Israel Daily and tons of other content from Israel, visit our website at iltv.tv or download the ILTV Plus app.